So, race 1. Track temperature 22 degrees is quite cool, actually, for Laguna. And something of a laggy start there, but the cars will run all the way down through the corkscrew. Quite a long run, actually, before they'll get underway. And as you can see, everyone a little all over the place.
It's a bit of a mess. Let's hope they all sort themselves out before they get the line. I've got plenty of time to do so. But yeah, like I said, a bit cooler. It's obviously it's race starting at 6 o'clock in the evening, server time. So it's so not as hot as it could be if this was sort of like mid-afternoon. So it's like a bit of a relief for the drivers, not having to kind of melt the tyres as
There was some reports of server track temperatures of around 40, 50 degrees and when people were practicing earlier in the week, which is real hot.
Yeah, those Pirelli tyres will certainly be melting as they go further and further in this race.
Here we go then. Buffonius will take the start. So we've got 13 in the field. Unlucky for some. Who will be lucky here in round 10 as we come up to the line to get green?
Go.
There we go. We're away for round 10 of the FRS Touring Car Championship, and McDermott has the inside line as they come down towards turn 1 for the first time. Here we go. McDermott on the inside. Harkimer on the outside. Sumner running around the outside of Actonese here. It's all fairly clean so far. That's Struthers running a little wide, but McDermott holds the lead. The fight behind is between Williams and Manning. Manning losing out as they come down into turn 2, and that's Lightbody who's gained a place up at 7th there. So the top 2 in the championship are now line astern on the track, although Bradley sending it up the inside just in the background there. Not managing to get that move done. McDermott leads from Harkimer at the front.
Yeah, clean start from everyone by the looks of things. There's a few at the back just broke off. I don't know whether there's been a little bit of an incident, but they're all running. But yeah, nice clean start as we see Hark having a little bit of a sniff up the inside of McDermott, but nothing going there through that left-hander as they plough up the hill.
Harkimer's going to think about this. Yeah, he's going to go to the inside as they come up the hill towards the corkscrew. And thinks better of it. McDermott throwing the car to the inside to defend that one. But that fight for the lead will continue.
You'll probably find throughout this race that that braking zone is going to be the one to watch for, because it's fairly easy to lock the front tyres up as you go up and over the crest and you start braking. So I expect to see some lockups and some drivers running wide as we come through the last corner for the first time, and we see Oscar Sumner run wide, and that's going to give Williams a good run down the start-finish straight, and even Joe could get involved with this as they go up and over the crest down into technically turn 2.
Manning thinking about the 3 wide, thinking better of it. Sumner's on the outside here. Williams on the inside. Who dares brake latest? They're going to bang doors as they go through there. Manning's now on the inside of Sumner, and he does well to not make contact there with the British driver. All clean. Williams up to 4th place.
Yeah, I don't know whether Sumner was trying to potentially hold it around the outside so you get the inside for turn 3, but just had to fall in behind Lewis for the time being. But expect to see a counter attack.
McDermott leads. There's Sumner to the inside. Absolutely sends it. But are we going to get the car stopped? We're not. And Williams takes that place back. And now Manning coming through as well. There's a little bit of contact between the pair, but Manning has the inside line on the high ground. Takes that place, but Sumner will fight this back up the hill. Look at Bradley against Lightbody in the background as well. Lightbody really struggling for pace in the early stage of this one. And that is Sumner on the inside going through, and Bradley has the move done on Lightbody as well. Great move from the Irish driver.
Indeed, it was a good side-by-side racing from the pair of them. It looked like Joe was trying to get a switchback coming through the corkscrew, but it's just had to set them behind. But yeah, Chad made a good move on Lightbody. But it looks like there's actions in this quartet.
Oh, a bit late on the brakes. Bradley has to throw it to the inside. Way too late on the brakes there. And now there's going to be all sorts of carnage as we come to complete the second lap of this race.
Well, that was good awareness from Oscar Sumner not to turn in with Chad on the inside of him. I think Chad just missed a braking zone, and but managed to get away with it as Joe throws it inside, and Oscar's going to slam
there's
that door
contact.
shut.
Bradley's running at the back of Manning, and it's all gone wrong at turn 1. Shambles has arrived.
And Lightbody's lost out as well behind all that loss. I think he was in a separate incident with the B&M W car of Struthers, but yeah, that was I think it was always going to happen. But yeah, this gaggle of cars since they've been racing so hard with each other have lost so much time now that Joe's actually 5 seconds behind his teammate. As we see Chad going up the inside into the left hand.
Oh, they're both off, and Bradley's gone wide and going to rejoin. Holds the line well. Buffonius can go through, as will Struthers. I think a few cars might make up a place here. So as we come down towards the bottom of the hill, the foot of the hill, that's wide from Sumner, and Buffonius is making up from the back of the field. Buffonius is about to go up into 6th place here.
It looks like there's a bit of red mist descending across a few of these drivers. I don't know whether
Oh, Lightbody there on the inside. A whack against the door of Bradley, and again. And Bradley's round and facing the wrong way.
That was I was just sort of talking about the red mist descending. I think it's getting to a few people here. But looking back up the front, we've got Actonese and Harkema having a battle with each other, going down in the turn 2.
Actonese in the Subaru liveried car this week. It's finally working properly. But McDermott stretching that lead. And in fact, Actonese has got past Harkema at some point. We've missed that. But Harkema was in P2, now down to P3.
Yeah, I don't know where it was coming through the last couple of corners, but certainly on the track map, when I was looking at it, it looked like they were getting close, coming out the final corner down the start-finish straight. But yeah, good battle brewing here, and Hawks coming back on Actonese now as he approached the left-hander.
Not really an overtaking spot there, but Hawks going to go for it. Well, eat your words, Zord, because Harkema goes through into 2nd position. Meanwhile, Buffonius and Sumner fighting into the same corner.
Yeah, it's a strange one, that left-hander. I think it's technically turn 6. It slightly goes uphill, so you can brake a little bit later than what you think you can. And
Actonese has gone off the track. Is down to 4th place.
So he has, but yeah, it's a weird corner that it sort of hugs you a little bit as you turn into it. So you can brake a little bit late and get away with it. But so I've seen a manoeuvre from Bradley that didn't go pay off, but Actonese did. So sorry, Hawks did. So yeah, plenty to watch out for here.
Just watching on the replay, Actonese went wide there, got onto the gravel, and that gave Williams the momentum to take the final podium place at the top of the hill up at the corkscrew.
And again, yeah, another good, another sort of important corner, and that shows what all momentum about this racetrack at times. So yeah, you lose that momentum, and especially as you pulling the cars up the hill, you're gonna lose potentially a lot of time, if not places.
So all our fighting has allowed Conor McDermott to establish a 1.8 second lead at the front, and looking strong again. So we saw in round 7, the first race at Zandvoort, McDermott was able to convert that pole into a lights the flag victory, dominating that race. And it seems like if the Scot is able to get to the front, he can really manage the pace.
Yeah, he certainly can. We've seen flashes of brilliance from Conor all season. It's just he hasn't really been consistently at the front where he kind of pretty much belongs, if I'm honest. He just needs to keep out of trouble and keep himself clean, but which he's doing at the moment, and it's paying off. But he is making a bit of a stretch now on Hawk and the battle pack behind him.
So, championship leader Joe Manning has not exactly dropped this group of Sumner and Buffonius, and in fact is a couple of seconds further back from Actonese in 4th place now. So Manning doesn't seem like he'll be able to do better than P5 here. So this is exactly the sort of race for Harkema, up in 2nd currently, to really try and claw back some points, because Lightbody's having a difficult one as well.
Hawks just set the fastest lap on that last time round of a 36 flat. It's a 10th faster than the corner in front of him, but But yeah, it's a good race for Hawk. Like you say, if he can keep himself P2 and fastest lap, it's all going to be chipping away slightly
Oh, Williams was
at
wide
Joe.
there. Just hung on to it, but has missed the apex at turn 4, I suppose that is, and is on the gravel again. We've seen this from Williams all season. Lots and lots of pace, prone to a mistake or two.
Yeah, it's just one of those. It's one of these tracks where off the curbs is gravel, not a runoff area. So very much got to keep yourself on the black stuff at all times, especially through that left-hander as a hill. But yeah, he's still in the podium position. Just needs to kind of get himself settled back into to a nice rhythm. He might be able to get back on the gearbox or the rear end of Harkima.
So
but saying that,
showing a lot of pace, but Hark is, I don't know whether McDermott's made a mistake this lap, but the gap's now just a second, and Harkima is really pushing right now.
Yeah, I was just about to say that Hark is actually starting to close the gap up. He set the fastest lap last time round, and he was almost going to be setting another fastest lap, but he's lost a little bit of time in that last sector. So he's just dropped a couple of tenths to Connor there, but that gap has come down by about 2 or 3 tenths in that last lap alone. So yeah, this isn't all done and dusted yet for Connor, as we've just about to pass the halfway point of this race.
We've got a fight here between Manning and Sumner. I think somewhere Sini has been off the circuit in the number 29 car, just at the foot of the hill towards the corkscrew. Has recovered at the circuit, still in P12. But Manning doesn't seem to have the outright pace of the front runners in their home race.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a weird one with Joe, because he had all the pace at the start of the season, and obviously that why he built up such a big lead for in the championship. But the last couple of rounds, I don't know whether he's just not being able to find a good setup or whether he's not had as much practice in. But he's he gone from being on the podium for every race to sort of now struggling to even get up on the podium at the moment. It's a bit of a sort of a change of fortunes for Joe, but still up near the sharp end where he needs to be.
So a solid race from Williams so far.
Just saying that the gap at the front has closed up even further now. Hawk is half the deficit, I think, to Connor here. So he's come across the line. He's now 7 tenths from 1.1 seconds. So
yeah, really starting to apply the pressure now. The American driver wants a victory here on home soil. McDermott running a consistent pace. That last lap was a 36.7, which was half a second slower than Hark, and we're a good 6 tenths off his own personal best. So don't know whether that was just a mistake on that lap or whether there's a more long-term issue in terms of the tyres maybe not being in the window that we want.
Yeah, I think Connor's starting to drive in his mirrors a little bit. There seems to be the odd little sort of mistake here and there just creeping in. And there's another one.
He's gone wide. He's gone very wide, and that's going to give Harkima the inside line and the lead. Well, an unforced error there from McDermott, and Harkima takes full advantage. Yeah,
I was just saying he's driving on his mirrors, and I think he just, I don't know whether he got caught looking at Hark before he'd braking zone, but he's just out-braking himself into the left-hander. But I think for Connor now, you might, some drivers prefer being the hunter rather than being a huntee. And I wonder whether Connor, now that he's chasing Hark, whether you'll be able to sort of settle himself back into a rhythm instead of being the one who's been chased.
Well, he's certainly not been dropped immediately by the American driver. But then Hark's gone wide. Yeah, Hark's made a mistake and is in the gravel, and surely that will give McDermott the lead back.
Well, they're after, they're saying after you. No, after you. It's neither of one of these two wants to lead the race yet.
Just clearly far too deep into the final corner there. And Harkima will have to do it all again, but McDermott's gone wide. Well, does anyone want to win this race?
I mean, we talked about Lewis making a mistake before and dropping the pair of them, but these two are just running off the track one after another. That at this rate, it looks like Williams and Actonese are going to sort of be contenders for the win.
Well, Williams closed to within a second. Williams' last lap was a full 9/10 of a second quicker than McDermott, who made a couple of one error on the last lap and has made another error on this lap. Hakima's gone wide at turn 5, and now suddenly it's a four-way fight for the win.
There's something happened with the front pair. Was it someone Dick Dastardly come along and spilt some oil on the racetrack, because these two just seem to be running off the road in sympathy with each other.
I mean, are the tyres in a little bit of trouble here? Not sure. But you can see how close McDermott is, and also how close Williams is now. Williams might fancy a win if these two keep making mistakes at the rate they're going.
Yeah, it's a strange one, but yeah, the battle pack has closed back up to a four-way fight for the lead rather than the front two breaking away.
Hawk's going to spin!
Spun.
And he runs into McDermott, and Williams runs into him as well. Oh no! Well, he's lost it all on his own.
Yeah, he's clipped the sausage cape on the inside of the last corner, and that's what sent the back end round. It looks like the top three managed to get away with it, other than just a bit of a. I think Lewis was the one who collected Hawk more than everyone else, but yeah, like I said, an unforced error from Hawk. He's managed to keep going in P4 and just ahead of Joe, who's got quite a bit of pressure from Oscar now behind him. But yeah, I think that one's been brewing for a few laps.
Well, we were talking, weren't we, Hakima? A golden opportunity there with the lead of the race to try and even maybe take the lead of this championship, or certainly catch up to Manny. But now all of a sudden down in P4 and a long way off the front group.
Yeah, so it's, I think we've seen sort of 4 or 5 unforced errors from the top two now in about a lap and a half. It's so I don't know whether the first of all pressure's getting him. I think Joe's just whacked the inside curb going through there, and that's going to give Oscar a good run up the hill as they come down into the braking zone for the corkscrew. And Oscar's ahead as they start braking.
Yeah, Sumner's through. Oh, and Hawk spun it again at the corkscrew. It has all gone wrong for Hakima.
Well, that's yeah. I don't know whether he is suffering from something wrong with his tires, but yeah, it just looks like he's just sort of lost all grip.
No, just lit it up. Was on the right line, just lit the rear tires up as went over the hill. And had to wait for a few other cars to come through. Booth, who started at the back, is now up into 6th position. Well, the fight continues for P2 because Actonese is still in play here, but now McDermott suddenly has a 3.1 second lead.
Yeah, so obviously with Hawk spin at the last corner, Williams and Actonese were the ones who got caught up more than McDermott did, so yeah, been able to stretch that lead out. And but I think Williams and Actonese have been not necessarily fighting with each other, but certainly Actonese is putting the pressure on Williams, which might be again forcing a 1 or 2 slightly unforced errors from the drivers. And we see another one going in the corkscrew. It's a little deep from Williams, and that's going to give Actonese a good run coming down the corkscrew, into this left-hander.
Clearly, this is not easy, negotiating these cars around this circuit. And McDermott's lost a good second or so on this lap as well. That gap was 3.1 at the start of this lap. It's now shown as 2.2.
Yeah, so it's yeah, this is not an easy track. It's it's very much a whether people class it an old school racetrack, but it's it's definitely a racetrack that bites if you get it wrong. And that's what we're seeing a lot
and Actonese both doing a 36.8 there as Williams runs wide and gives the Turkish driver a lock up the inside, but not to be this time. McDermott a 38.1 on that last lap. That's a good 1.3 seconds slower.
And he's already losing quite a lot of time to his personal best, which is understandable given that we're quite late into the race here. But yeah, it's not easy for he's not making it itself easy for himself as McDermott.
Tom Lightbody has recovered to 9th position. He's actually fighting Harkima. Would never have thought those two would be on the same piece of racetrack towards the end of this one. But it's been a crazy race, must be said.
It certainly has. And sorry, looking a little bit further down, Oscar Sumner looks like he's dropped Manning, and he's got a 2-second gap built to him now. So yeah, that looks pretty comfortable.
I think we're going to have one more lap after this one. So McDermott is 1.7 clear. Just needs to hang on for one more lap. Seems to have stabilised the gap on this particular lap. Further back in the field, Harkima now in P8. Tom Lightbody up into 9th position. So those two are suddenly losing points to Joe Manning.
Yeah, this race has been very much a swing in the championship, both one way and the other. All within 20 minutes of each other. So yeah, well, we're on the last lap now, and we'll see if Conor can hold on and see who's going to get P2.
Acton just takes a tighter line on that that hairpin corner there. But looking like Williams, looking like he's got this covered at the moment. Harkima and Lightbody are close together as they come over the line. A dip, I mean more than a dip really. An extended period of time. I couldn't think of the word I wanted there. In the gravel for the left side wheels for Lewis Williams, and that won't help the grip either. But they're edging towards McDermott. I don't think, unless McDermott makes a mistake like that, dipping a toe into the gravel there, I don't think anyone's going to be able to do anything about this. With McDermott in the lead at the front.
Yeah, McDermott just needs to, he's got a bit of a buffer. Doesn't need to do anything daft. Just, nice and easy in the braking zones. Just make sure he hits his marks. Lewis just went a little deep. That's, he's clouting the curbs on the corkscrew, but he's managed to get away with that one.
Just 2 corners to go for Conor McDermott, who leads round 10 here at Laguna Seca. It has been all over the place, this race. And McDermott was in control, then wasn't in control, but then regained control again. And out of the final corner comes the Scottish driver. And no, McDermott's into the wall. Well, he's going to hang on. I think possibly celebrating a little too soon there. Almost lost it. But McDermott does get the win. Williams is second and Actonese in third. Well, I'd nearly seen everything there.
Yeah, that's why you make sure of the victory first, and then you can celebrate afterwards. That was almost very much egg on your face and a bit more with that little moment. And it's a good job for McDermott that the wall was quite close and it wasn't a large gravel trap, because that would have definitely been the victory loss.
Oh, Bradley's gone wide at the last corner and De Boer's got through. So Raymond De Boer will finish in 11th. And a disappointing race for Bradley, who started out with a lot of pace. But just that incident with Lightbody, and then a couple of extra mistakes over the course of that one, dropping the Chess.com Racing with Guinness car to the back.